This is Dopamine and Dopamine Receptors by Hunter Brigger. Um, the chemical structure of dopamine is C8H11NO2, and dopaminergic structures within the brain, such as the corpus striatum, have been implicated in reward related behavior. Dopamine is a catecholamine found in the brain, and catecholamines are hormones that also function as neurotransmitters. The body produces them in the brain, nerve tissues, and adrenal glands. Everywhere that is not marked on the dopamine molecule, such as here, here, and here, are carbon atoms. And since there are only three bonds, hydrogen is present as well. Dopamine is produced from the amino acids tyrosine and phenylalanine. The picture to the right shows dopamine receptors, and dopamine receptors are a class of G protein coupled receptors, which means they're a type of protein, and there are at least five subtypes of dopamine receptors, such as the D1, D2, D3, and D4, and D5 receptors, which are prominent in the vertebrae, central nervous system, or the CNS. Uh, Dopamine receptor behavior is that when dopamine molecule reacts with the protein or receptor, it changes the shape of the protein or receptor. When the dopamine molecule goes away, the protein reverts to its original shape. The D1 dopamine receptor consists of two G protein coupled receptors, and they regulate the memory, learning, and the growth of neurons in our body. Ligands and agonists can be added to dopamine receptors so that they function better. And known ligands selective for D1 receptors are dihydroxidine and benzazepine. And known agonists selective for D1 receptors are apomorphine, pergolide, rotigotine, and terguride. So this picture right here shows the interaction between dopamine and D1 receptor, and in the picture, um, it shows molecular docking between the dopamine and the dopamine receptor. So basically, the ribbon-like objects are the D1 receptors, but in reality, they would all just be one large and super complicated ribbon. And this image shows the dopamine molecule reacting with the receptor. And so both the OH that are closest to the TM5 receptor, like these right here, um, have very strong positive charge because the oxygen needs hydrogen's electron. So when the OH reacts with the D1 receptor, the shape of the D1 receptor changes slightly. And the NH2, which is farthest from the receptor, which is seen by the yellow, um, uh, has a much smaller positive charge because nitrogen needs the electron less. So there's a slight attraction between the nitrogen hydrogen bonds. I chose dopamine because I am very interested in the chemistry behind how our emotions work. And dopamine is the most interesting topic for me because I'm a very happy person, and I know that dopamine is related to our feelings of happiness. It is also associated with a reward system. So when we perform well or see things that we like, dopamine is released. And I was extremely eager to learn the process behind this. Thank you for listening to my presentation.